I'm speaking to you from Huron County, traditional lands of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee and Neutral peoples. Farm with my family here, very small direct market operation. So can I have the next slide, please? So La Via Campesina is the largest social movement in the world. Always, Via Campesina speaks about the struggles that unites its members. It unites them in opposition of those struggles. In 2019, mass protests were organized in Haiti, Honduras, Lebanon, India, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Colombia, Algeria, Sudan, South Africa, France, Brazil, Argentina, Spain, and elsewhere, all in opposition to the economic inequality, poverty, and concern for the climate crisis shared by all. The NFU grew from the provincial farmers' unions. Farmers felt that they needed to cooperate on a national level, as that was where the policies that most affected their futures and livelihoods were debated and created. So too, the peasant members of Via Campesina realized that they were all being affected by the same transnational companies and neoliberal policies, no matter where they were. Via Campesina uses the term peasant, not in a socioeconomic way, rather to identify a healthy connection to land and community as the basis for food production. Via Campesina created a solution and framework for change when they came together in Nileni, Africa, to create food sovereignty as a way to bring about radical societal transformation, putting farmers, peasant workers, and the majority of the poor into the center of political, economic, and environmental decision-making. Next slide. As a movement, Via Campesina does not exist outside of its member organizations. The NFU, as a founding member, has contributed to this mobilizing structure since the very beginning. Via Campesina is led by the International Coordinating Committee, which is made up of leaders, one man, one woman from each of 9 regions of the world, and 4 youth representing continents, 22 in all. I've been privileged to be one of 2 North American representatives on the ICC since July 2017. I participate fully in the ICC process. I co-coordinate the North American region, and am one of 2 ICC members responsible for the movement's finances and relationships with allies. When I first considered this role, I went to the national board and requested their approval and support. I appreciate knowing that I do this work alongside the IPC and the entire NFU membership. As a sample of Via Campesina activity, in 2019, Via Campesina focused on training and building its base. Having grown rapidly and being called to many struggles, a shared education and ideological platform was deemed necessary for the movement to continue to grow in a unified way. In the past few years, criminalization has increased, and in the more volatile areas of the world, peasant leaders have become the targets of violence and killing. With the assistance of allies, resources, and emergency protocols to protect these leaders have been created. Also in 2019, an increased focus on speaking against trade agreements and the World Trade Organization brought Via Campesina back to the roots of its existence. Finally, a midterm conference, a decision-making space, much like the NFU convention, was held in Zimbabwe in August 2019. In 2020, with the tagline, "Stay home, but not silent," Via Campesina has been able to continue meeting, albeit virtually, and continues to focus on training, defending against injustice, and building the movement. Next slide. The National Farmers Union and Nettie Wiebe, as member of the first ICC, were instrumental in building the gender parity debate to Via Campesina. Together with other women leaders, particularly from South America, women have been organizing since the movement began. 2019 was no different. A recent construct, popular peasant feminism, has deepened the understanding of our struggle in the rural agrarian experience. Feminism has always existed. But in our collective experience, it is about the struggle against patriarchy and for equality and justice, but also includes the recognition and protection of traditional and agroecological practices, land access, seed saving, and other elements related to our lives on the land. Next slide. Via Campesina mobilizes in these 8 thematic areas. Each collective or working group focuses on a portion of the struggle, often developing its own leadership strategy and campaigns. Essie, in her outline of the Peasants' Rights Declaration, will give you a good idea of the workings of a collective and what they are able to achieve. I want to suggest that it's in these collectives, especially at a regional level, that there are opportunities for NFU members to participate. As an organization, we have considerable expertise to share and much to gain from networking with peasant leaders working on the same issues as we do. We have managed to have the NFU's climate crisis report translated into Spanish, and we'll be sharing this good work in 3 languages with our fellow members of Via Campesina soon. Next slide. The final slide includes the 10 organizations that make up the North American region. The NFU will benefit from working within this context as well. The membership is diverse and represents the 3 countries. In Canada, the National Farmers Union and Union Paysan from Quebec, UNORCA from Mexico, and the remaining organizations are from the US. We meet regularly, a space which we are using to create unity, understanding, and a platform to mobilize against migration, inequality, climate change, and more. I appreciate Ayla Fenton, Jesse McGinnis, and Stuart Wells who work with me at this level. I encourage you to check out the Via Campesina website, its reports and publications for more information. There's also an opportunity to receive a Via Campesina newsletter. Reach out to myself or IPC coordinator Martha Robbins if you would like to become involved. Thank you.